Welcome to What's Happening. I'm your host, Brianna Gustafson, and today I'm here with the crew who will be building a home in just 5 days for Habitat for Humanity.
My name's Chris Duran. I'm the Executive Officer of the Home Builders and Remodelers Association of Cape Cod.
Peter Kimball. I'm a home builder from Yarmouthport, Massachusetts, and I'm Vice President of the Home Builders Association.
Matt York. I own York Building and Remodeling in Sandwich, and I am the construction supervisor for the BLITZ build.
Gail O'Rourke, owner of Whitewood Kitchens in Sandwich.
And I'm John McPhee, part owner of Pastiche of Cape Cod, along with my wife, Irina, and I chair the steering committee for the build.
Well, thank you all for being here today. September 18th is not that far away, and you have 1 week to build a home for a family. Tell me what this is going to be like.
I will tell you, I'm not a builder. They are. These are the ones that are involved. But being there on site and seeing the video afterwards, it's like an ant farm. It is an amazing, amazing week. And I don't know how they do it, but Peter, Matt, Gail, and John are in the planning committee, so they can tell you a little bit more about how it happens. But trust me, it is crazy and like an ant farm that week.
How is it managing that many construction crews from all different companies from the Cape?
Right. We spend about a year in advance planning the project, so the early work is in getting donations and deciding who wants to be involved in the project, who wants to be part of the coordination team, and then this time of year we start a pretty rigorous process of working on schedules and developing who's going to do what task, what day of the week we need them, and spend a lot of time on that aspect of it, which Matt is actually in the process of that now.
Typically when you're building a house, you can call your framer or plasterer or electrician and say, hey, I need you in 2 weeks. Now you call them and, hey, I need you in 2 hours. So it's nice, it's fun, but at the same time, it's a mixed emotions.
Must be a nice sigh of relief when it's all done and the family sees the home and all the hard work that's been poured into it. How did this start? You've been doing these BLITZ builds for a couple of years now on Cape Cod. Is this the third one?
Correct.
This is the third one, exactly. Briefly, I was at an association management conference, and my colleagues around the country were talking about their build BLITZ, and I said, what is that? We have a Habitat here on the Cape. Spoke to Vicki and Bob over at Habitat. We spoke about it at one of our monthly dinner meetings. And this guy right here, Peter, was the first one to raise his hand and said, let's do it, and I'll be in charge. So it happened very quickly. I think that was maybe in the fall. What have we done? 2012, 2015, and now 2017?
Right.
So that was in the fall of 2011, and they got it done in September of 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a leap of faith, but we made it happen. And again, we had a pretty good time period to plan. The last couple we've taken more time to plan it, just because we get in earlier for donations. But the first one was pretty exciting, and we had a great team for that one.
And I'm going to make a correction. It was 2013 that we did the first one, and then we do it every 2 years, 2015. Okay. And now 2017. Yeah.
So based on your experience, tell me a little bit about what day 1 through day 7 is like. Is day 1 just crazy and chaotic, or does everybody pretty much work as a team and know what they're supposed to be doing?
At that point, I think everyone works as a team. The Home Builders Association is a great association, and it's that one event that kind of brings us all together, and we're all working together. In the past, I've just been part of the framing and the carpentry, so I get to leave that first day and say, we finished when we were supposed to finish. But now I have a little more responsibility. Fortunately, Gail and Peter have worked out any kinks or anything, and they're kind of leading the way for me.
I think what it's important to note is you've really got a team of experts. So the best builders on the Cape are part of the Home Builders Association on the Cape. And so then you're taking the best of that group, putting them all together, working together for a year. People who normally might compete each other on bids and remodels during the week are coming together once a month to plan this extraordinary event. And then through the other association contacts like myself, they're making mid-Cape homes, Shepley homes. We're donating cabinets, and there's lumber, and there's Stonewood Products, and all their landscapers. Everyone pools their individual teams together for it. So you have labor donations, you have material donations, and that all comes together to build this house for a week. So it's the success of the project is very intentional. It's well planned and it's well executed. Sometimes in the early stages in thinking about it, it's a little chaotic to get your head around all the details, but the week isn't chaos at all. It's busy, it's exciting, it's a little bit stressful, it's exhausting, but it's not chaos, it's controlled, and there's milestones with every construction project. Just like if you're doing it over 6 months, you've got inspections, you've got points where you can race forward and then you have to stop. Did we get there? If we didn't, you backtrack a little, move a little farther. So you don't get to the very end and say, oh, I forgot to put that window in. Because there's points along the build, whether it's over 5 days or 5 months, that have to happen before the next step takes place. So it's a project plan, and we're just executing it a little quicker than we normally would.
Just a little bit. I think a lot of people probably don't realize what goes into building and finishing a home this quickly. Can you talk about some of the material donations that are donated to this cause during the week?
So all the way from the foundation up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really hard to identify each individual because there's hundreds. And the process started a year ago in the steering committee just to plan what we were going to do. We knew when we were going to do it, but those details get worked out through the course of the year, and hundreds of people come together. And in this case, people have come together not once or twice, but 3 times. And not just these 3, but there are people that have donated a lot 3 times in a row. So there's a huge industry commitment and an HBRACC commitment to building a house like this, and it starts a year before it's actually put on the ground. So the work that happens is where you're right, the ant farm, but that ant farm runs beautifully only if it's been planned for in the previous year and throughout that year, and that's what we've all been working on. It's been a simple task for me because the steering committee is the track that the project runs on. And that track had really essentially been laid by the 3 of you and others who worked your way to build that track along the way. I didn't have to do that. I just had to manage the work. You're like the locomotive on the track now because you're going to build this thing. And all those donors are on that same train.
And I think it's important to note that Peter and Matt and Gail and many others are business owners. They make their living working and getting paid. So not only are our members who are local, licensed, insured professionals, experienced, educated, but they're also committed and dedicated to giving back to the community. So not only are they giving up of their expertise and their time, they're also giving up money that could be made. And they're also giving up their employees. You have a crew that could be working on somebody else's
Right,
house.
yeah, we
You
have
a
lots
crew.
of crews, right.
Lots of crews, whether it's landscaping, framing, installing windows, installing floors. These are also the employees of our members who believe so much in what we're doing that they're willing to give up time and money to give back to the community.
It's so nice that it really is an all hands on deck type of an event. You guys had a pretty good kickoff, I read, a couple weeks back. Tell me how that was.
It was a blast. We had a great time. And again, another one of our longtime members, Stonewood Products, hosted it along with a lot of other sponsors and contributors. But it was an evening where we got to thank each other for being this great association and working together. But I think the most touching and most meaningful moment of the night was when we got to meet the family who's going to move into this BLITZ home. And you all can share what that was like. But I was there, got to meet them. Extremely touching. Single working mom, a certified nurse's aide for 10 years, 3 beautiful young children, And here is a woman who could be taking care of my mother, could be taking care of your mother, your grandmother, working here on the Cape for 10 years and still cannot afford a place to live. So to hear her comments and her emotion that evening just makes it all worthwhile. And I don't know how you all felt.
It's truly one of those feel-good moments. You know, you realize you're helping someone else accomplish their dreams by giving them the gift of homeownership.
What was fun for me, since I was so involved with the last project 2 years ago, was I got to see last year's family came. And they have twin boys, and they're 2 years older than they were 2 years ago. And I got to talk to them and get down on the ground, and we talked about their rooms and what they love about their yard, and they were talking about playing in their yard with their dad, and the dad is like, oh, it's just been unbelievable, and they were living in their parents' basement. So I got to see that family and then know and look at this new family and this mom and her kids and be like, we are going to crush it for you. And you are going to be so psyched. You're psyched now. Just give us 2 months, and you're going to be walking in on that Saturday, and you're just going to be blown away. And that's the part that gives you chills and really makes you come back for more. 2 years ago feels like yesterday. Feels like 15 minutes ago. And I can't believe we're already back here again at, on the big countdown.
I know, a little over
I don't
a
know,
month.
it's almost 30 days
Right.
on the big countdown to
The
day
family, meeting the family is a wonderful experience because you realize that as a group we've come together and we're doing something meaningful. You know, affordable housing is an issue, and this large group of people has stepped into that arena to do something about it. And it's very visceral for me. I mean, I've been working on the project from afar for a long time, and to really get to that place where you really are going to build a home and you really have a family and they really do have children. I have children too, you know, it's an important thing. It was a wonderful event, and Stonewood was very gracious in that event as well.
That's so nice. You all do what you love every single day, and now that you're helping this family, one of our neighbors here on Cape Cod, your work just must have so much more meaning to you. It's unbelievable. As far as volunteers and donations, are you still in need of volunteers to help feed the crews and kind of be there during the days?
John?
I would say that we're in pretty good shape on all of that, because we better be by now. We have a pretty dedicated crew that has organized all of that. That said, you know, if there are people that are interested, I'm sure we would find a way to work them into the system. We are sort of at that critical place where we're going to do it now. And because we're going to do it, we are organized. And all of those builders need to be fed. They need to have a cup of coffee. So, yeah, we're pretty organized with all that. We have a whole group of hospitality people that are working on it through, and donors that have donated food and time and chairs and tents and so on and so forth.
That's good news, especially because we're only a month away.
You gotta believe it.
They're only allowed to eat for a certain amount of time. They need to get back to work.
Yeah, not 10 coffee breaks, I'm assuming.
Right.
What time do you start building in the morning, and then what time does it end?
We've gone, I mean, day one, we start at around
Sunrise.
sunrise, and the framing day, we've been there till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Paint night, which is the third day, is they're typically there 2 or 3 in the morning.
Wow.
So it depends on what's happening, and you can't get in to do the paint till the plaster's done. The plaster can't do that till the sheetrock's hung. So a lot of times we're sitting around waiting for stuff to dry. It's probably the biggest challenge of the house is actually having the paint dry.
Yeah.
So we watch paint.
So we watch paint dry. But the crews are scheduled during the day, so there's the morning crew, the afternoon crew, and then, the paint, like I said, the painting crew, those guys need the whole house and everyone's kicked out. So unfortunately their night is usually a late night. We're there late Friday cleaning if the dedication's on Saturday or Sunday. So, and while you're doing that, someone's on a ladder shingling and laying loom around the bottom of the ladder. I remember my first year I was laying hardwood floor and I was in and out of the house all day, and at one point I stepped out and there was the deck. It wasn't there the last time I went through, but then, as you're working, things are coming up and literally going on around you. A door you could have accessed 5 minutes ago has now got, a paint bucket in the way, or it's pretty fun. It's pretty unbelievable.
And to that point, all of this has been organized. So, I mean, each person has a truck. Everybody wants to be near their truck because that's where all their stuff is, especially if they're in a hurry to get things done. So that's been organized. People like to watch. That's been organized. You know, so it's really quite an event. And as my first, I haven't actually seen the build, so I'm looking forward to it. Peter tells me it's exciting.
It is.
It is exciting. I covered one day of it in 2015, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I want to do it start to finish this time. So I'm excited as well. Is there anything else you want the community to know about the Blitz build? Where can they find more information?
We have a website. I don't know the exact address off the top of my head, but
Blitz Build
through the Home Builders Association website or Habitat's website, both have a link to that. The one thing I would add is that our partnership with Habitat for Humanity is very important to the Home Builders Association, and they truly appreciate the effort that we put in to do this, in addition to the family and everybody else. It's been a great event for both organizations for the past 2 times that we've done it, and we expect that it will be this time as well.
Well, we can't wait to see how you guys do. I'm sure the home will be beautiful. I saw a blueprint of it online earlier, and I can't wait to see the finished product. So thank you all for being here today.
Thank you.
And good luck.
You're welcome.
Thank
you.
We know that they're going to nail it. You're watching What's Happening. I'm Brianna Gustafson.